From now until the end of today's stream, you will have the option to purchase personalized autographs and one-on-one chats with your favorite celebrities at GalaxyCon.com.
Hey everyone, it's Lee here, back with another GalaxyCon Live Stream.
GalaxyCon is the copyright holder of this video content.
So excited.
The unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this copyrighted work is strictly prohibited.
Yeah, I didn't do the autographs or the ones from the real time. I want to do the autographs when I actually meet them in real life. It'll be easier.
GalaxyCon Live, where we are bringing the convention experience directly to you. And today, we are going back through video game history with 3 amazingly talented guests from the Nintendoverse, and now is the time for all of you in our chat room to begin typing in your questions for them. Immediately after this session, you will have the opportunity to talk to them directly through our private chat options, as well as shop our selection of personalized autographs, all of which are available now at GalaxyCon.com. So without further ado, let's put on our overalls and bring them out. Our first guest is an actor, singer, Navy veteran, here today to discuss the roles of Dry Bowser, Paper Bowser, Mini Bowser, Dark Bowser, Genie Bowser, and Bowser, but not Bowsette. Please welcome back one of our best convention buddies, Kenny James.
Yay.
That's right, I voted. Hi, guys.
Hey!
Hi,
How's it going, man?
Good, bro. How you been?
No, it's so good to see you. I've been great. Everything has been safe, even though I have traveled once in the since March, but yeah, no, everything's been good. We're just hanging out, waiting for all this to come to an end.
Oh, indeed. Well, you kept busy. You've been, if anyone has been following your YouTube channel, you've been working on a project for a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been building a sim racing rig. It's pretty much complete now. So hopefully I'll start posting some videos on that of me failing at racing, because that's what I do. Sometimes the aggravation level is pretty high, but yeah, no, it's a beautiful rig. It's not full motion, but I've got triple screens and I built a new PC for it, and I've got all this force feedback gear, and it's beautiful and I love it. So yeah, I'm going to continue with that. So
nice. I look forward, as always, to your continued progress with that, and look to see the results.
Yeah, doing that and growing my hair.
Yeah, so good. Now you're getting back to the Kenny James that I knew.
Get the hair farmer thing is happening. So.
And our next guest, she is an actress here today to discuss the roles of Toad, Toadette, Baby Peach, and of course, Princess Peach herself. Please welcome the always lovely Samantha Kelly.
Hi.
Oh, how are you?
So fun. I'm so excited we're doing this. I was feeling nostalgic this morning, just going, I missed the cosplay. I'm a huge cosplay geek, and I was just like, I wish. Well, I'm growing my hair long like Kenny too. So
yeah, well,
yeah, all has been well, but yeah, very quiet. We're doing Zoom school at our house, so that's what I spend a lot of my time.
Oh no, the chat is buffering, just like last time. Just give it a moment. It's really laggy.
Doing Zoom school, third grade. Yep.
Oh my. So I bet everything else is good in your corner of the world?
Yeah, all is well. We're all healthy, happy, blessed. Yep.
Well is the new awesome.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of awesome, our final guest is an actor who is credited by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most video game voiceover performances as the same character, and today he joins us to talk about that role as well as the others, such as Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, Toadsworth, and Mario himself. Please welcome back everyone's friend, Charles Martinet.
Hello, it's me, Super Mario. You're number one.
Yay!
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
So happy to be here.
So glad
It's like a little piece of our life back.
Yes.
This
Oh, Charles, how have you been?
I'm just doing great. Thank you very much, Patty. It's just been a very up and down kind of time, but I'm trying to figure out how to get things done. I'm not so good that I actually get projects done, but I've written a page of my book over the last 7 months, which is good. That's a big progress, because as soon as I finished that page, I went, oh, look, a butterfly. And that was that. So still working forward, though. One day.
Indeed. So,
squirrels, whatever it is. Just squirrel.
Anything. And I'm growing my hair long. I hope you like it. I think we should go back.
Oh, I think you should keep it, Charles.
Yeah, I think I'm getting close to matching your color. It's starting to happen.
I put this color in every day to look extinguished.
Nice work.
give me your head wet.
Distinguished. That's it.
Not extinguished, yeah.
That was beautiful.
Guys, great. So, I have to say, I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to GalaxyCon for having us. I'm grateful for all the people that I get to work with for Nintendo. And most of all, just to mention to everybody that happens to be tuning in right now, grateful to you. Your joy for the game and your enjoyment of that is what gives us all the chance to see you and to be here right now. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. And on behalf of myself, on behalf of GalaxyCon, first of all, we miss you all. We look forward to the days when we can host you on our physical stages and get you back in front of your fans. And when the world gets back to normal, hopefully we will do that again. In the meantime, we have this electronic format, so welcome to the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Hey!
Thank you.
Yay. And my voice is dying. I'm not sick.
So our team right now is going through the chat room and pulling out the questions. In the meantime, what I would like to do is I know most of these stories, but in case someone in our audience hasn't heard them yet, I would love to hear how these roles began for each of you. And I say ladies first.
Oh, thanks. Okay. The amazing thing. I was working in radio. I was doing commercials, things like Amazon and Nordstrom and things like that. And my agent said, "There's this video game, and they're looking for a replacement on the voice." And I had not played it, and so I had no idea. And I went in, and those voices were so familiar to me, because I don't know, my voice was just a match for it. Patty, when I was a little girl, I used to do, when my mom would tuck me in, I would do this really annoying puppet voice from Cedric the dog, and I'd be like and my mom would just be like, what is this poor child, like, what is she gonna do when she grows up, and
use that voice for Toad.
There we go, and my dad kept telling me, you gotta do something. You can't be a princess when you grow up. And I was like, oh. So I guess I can be a princess. And those voices, if you are someone who you love to make funny voices and do puppets and everything, just keep doing it, because eventually it turns into something. So anyway, those voices were a match. And since then I played the games, and I fell in love, just absolutely in love with them. And so it just worked out. It was just blessed to do it. And still love it. Still love these characters so much. They're so innocent and hopeful and beautiful. And I think right now we need more of that, all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a challenging year. we can certainly leave it at that. So, absolutely. So, when you got first approached, though, was it just for Peach, or was it for the other end? So
it was for all. Yeah, it was for all. Of course, like the guys, as they develop new games, sometimes they'll pull in different characters, and we've gotten a chance, as actors to, well, what would this kind of character sound like? What does Baby Peach sound like? What does, Cat Peach sound like? And get to explore with that. So we get to riff off the original characters, but yeah, those two, it was Toad and Peach, the first ones. And it's been fun ever since, for sure. Can't wait to get back to recording new ones, though. We recorded, what was it, Mario Kart Tour right before all of this hit, is what I'm remembering. And so it's we're waiting too.
Indeed. So, hey, Kenny. How'd this start, bro?
I'm sorry, you woke me up.
Yeah.
No, I was working my regular job. I was a propane service tech, selling propane and propane accessories. Tell you what, And somebody overheard me talking about how I was starting to get it to, starting to do voiceover. I built a little website and had a demo made from a guy at the University of Washington, taught a class at the experimental campus. And I did really good in that class. And so I had him do my demo. And this customer said, "Oh, you do voice work?" And I said, "I'm trying." So I gave her the web address. She sent it over to Bad Animals in Seattle. And the production manager there, Wendy, she started sending me auditions. And I did a whole bunch of different video game auditions and didn't get anything. So I was like, well, I'm not good enough, That's what you start to think. But that's before I started to develop the thick skin, because you got to have a thick skin. But then the Bowser audition came in, and I was like, Bowser, not, Shauna.
Good night, sweetheart.
The video game Bowser, I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I recorded it in my dining room. I'm sure the sound must have been terrible, but it was not too long after Sunshine, and the lines that they sent me were the lines from Sunshine. So they didn't say they wanted a voice match, but I thought they wanted a voice match. So I did my best Scott Burns, and I sent it in. And lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, I get an email saying, "You got the job." I'm like, what? Huh? And so then I was scared, because the only studio work I had done before had been singing in bands, but at least I had stood behind a microphone before. So but I went in there, and I believe my first director/producer was Nate Beeldorf, and he just steered me in the right direction. They didn't want me to talk anymore. I've said 4 words in 16 years, I think. But I developed the sound of Bowser to what he is now, which is very, very gurgly and very deep. But so it was just right place at the right time.
Great story. I love all these Mario cast
and the right talent.
Well,
and the right talent.
Thank you.
That it is. You're right. I mean, somebody, and as a voiceover actor myself, it is. The stars are right, but you got to be ready for those stars at the same time.
Yeah, it was just.
So don't sell yourself short, bro.
Lightning strikes kind of things. Yeah.
And Charles, your story begins on the beach.
It begins on the beach. I was lying on the beach doing what actors do, waiting for the pager to go off. And all of a sudden, the pager went off, and it was a friend of mine. And I thought, oh boy, we're going to go to dinner, because it was in San Francisco. And I run off the beach to a phone and said, hey, buddy, what's going on? He goes, you got to go crash an audition. I would never crash an audition. I'm a professional actor. No, you got to crash an audition. I said, forget it. I will not do it. Where do I go? And I went, and I crashed this audition, and I had one direction. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn. You're going to have these things glued to your face for a real-time animation system that might work and might not work. But if it doesn't work, I'm not going to pay to drink coffee all day. So make up a voice, make up a video game, whatever you want to make up. Make it up, start talking, and don't stop till you run out of things to say. So that was 29 years ago, last September, and I'm still not run out of things to say. So it's, that's the story of my life. It was just so fortunate. And like you say, I guess I had done more than 600 corporate videos, maybe 100,000, 500, 2,000 radio spots and TV ads and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, the thing comes along, and it hits, and oh my goodness. And I would say, working with Nate Beeldorf back in the day, and working with everybody at Nintendo, you go into that studio and you feel loved. You feel like you're in a team effort, and everybody works. There's no ego. It's all just working. And if you can work with people like that, you'll have real staying power, because you'll always be producing your best work. So I've just been so lucky. And then for me, it wasn't, hear all your characters, because there was no voice back then. And I did 5 years of real-time animation. And then all of a sudden I got that phone call, Mr. Miyamoto would like you to play Mario in a game. And I said, let me see. Whoopee! And that was 1995 or 1996, early on, to record Super Mario 64. And I did some PR stuff in the real-time animation stuff at Silicon Graphics and around all the different vendors who'd be having this actual product. And then went in and recorded the game, and it was the most magical, wonderful time I'd ever had in a studio. And it's just been getting better ever since then. So I'm just thank my lucky stars every single day. You got to be grateful for life every minute of it. It's bumpy. Sometimes it's bumpy. But even this, we're going to look back at this time, and we're going to say there was much to be done. There was much to learn. We have to get comfortable with ourselves. We have to figure out our own way in life, and what do we want to do? What are our priorities? And that's a big opportunity here. And I always say, for everybody, do what you love to do. Find what it is you love to do. Follow your heart. Pursue your passions with harm to nobody, but looking for your joy. And no matter who you are, no matter what you've done in your life, you deserve happiness and joy and love. So let all that ego stuff go of why you can't have it, and go get it, because it's yours. That's what I say.
And I'll try harder to be an artist.
That's a little bit more of an answer than you're probably asking me, but I have that in there.
No problem. I do have to, for our audience doesn't understand. He mentioned a thing called a pager. A pager is like a cell phone.
Oh, those!
But it was a very, very dumb cell phone in the sense it just told you had a message. It was like a ding, somebody out there wants to talk to you somewhere, and you had to go to another phone, and you had to call and say, like, somebody called for me. That's kind of
this is the same thing where it's like nobody knows what a payphone is anymore.
Yes,
that's true.
That's sad.
Yeah, and you went to the payphone. You always. Right? Didn't you always have like 9,000 quarters in your car and dimes and nickels and just all over the upholstery in your house because you needed that? But I was always, in the little page it would go off and all that. But this was also the day when everybody talked on the telephone, where it wasn't just telemarketers and people trying to rip you off. It was like you connected with people by having hours-long conversations on the phone.
Very true, as opposed to sup, Yes, indeed. So, awesome. Team, we have some questions for our audience. So, let's roll that over. And our first one comes from Arlen, who wants to know what made you all get into voice acting.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah.
Always. Okay, so it's a lot like what Charles is talking about, that if you are that person and you just make voices and you make characters and you like dressing up and you like just trying on different things, that's just who you are. And so that's just who I am. So it was, I did not know there was a job where you could do voices for characters like that and not, and have the actual, the character somewhere else that it's like, it's a drawn character. And I loved it. Like, it's just, it's fun. It's fun to experiment. And I think, and you guys too, like when you're in studio and you have, something you have to make happen, like, oh, you just got hit by a shelf. What does that sound like? I don't know. I haven't been hit by a shelf today, but imagining in your head, what would that sound like if I fell into a pit of lava? How would I scream? And it's actually really fun. It's a fun brain game. So if your brain likes doing that stuff, then that's probably who you are. That's why I did it.
Fair.
You just get to express yourself just by your voice. Take out all your emotions.
Ever since I was a little bitty kid, I wanted to be in front of people. The first time I remember doing it was 6th grade. I was in a talent show, and I sang a song, and I was doing the thing with the microphone cord. I was doing all the showing off until I forgot the second verse. And I just sort of hummed along until I heard the words, and I kept going. And so in 6th grade, I realized, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a thing, because I messed up and nobody cared. I didn't win, but nobody cared. And it wasn't until years and years later. I mean, I was so concentrated on Navy then just work-a-day stuff. I didn't start acting until I was 40.
Wow.
So once I jumped into community theater, and I preach this to people all the time, you want to be a voice actor, first be an actor. You know, learn a bit about the craft.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm doing right now.
Community theater doesn't cost you anything except maybe travel. You learn how to take direction. You learn how to develop characters.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but
your
it's
acting
so
chops
fun.
will come along.
It's worth it. If you
they
like
actually
doing it,
pay
then
off
it'll be
now.
worth it.
I'm over here in the booth because this is my booth. And it all pays off in the long run. And as far as how, why, I really don't know. It just happened. All of a sudden, I just snapped and went, you know what? I'm going to start auditioning for community theater projects. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to put up a voice acting thing. And sometimes lightning strikes, sometimes it doesn't. And now I'm in Dallas, and I'm doing anime for Funimation. So it's
Nice.
It's fun.
Yay.
You want to do it, work at it a little bit, you know, you got to develop some chops.
Yeah.
And get coaches if you have to. That's what I say.
And there's
acting is acting, right?
Yeah.
Acting is acting. There's really no separation between stage acting.
That's true.
There's obvious dividers, you know, as like
Yeah.
cameras are different than just standing in a booth, but it's all acting. You really need to concentrate on acting. And in 10 years, I did 20 something productions on stage, including
wow.
opera.
Nice.
wow.
And I loved every minute of it. I moved to Dallas, and now I miss my theater back in Washington. I miss it so much. I can still smell it. That theater smell. It's like, I love the smell of the theater. Anyway, that's enough time for me. Go, Charles.
Charles, bring us home.
Well, you know, I was the shyest person in the world. I could disappear in a room with two people in it if a third person came in the room. I never thought in a million years I'd ever be acting. I even had a high school thing where they did an evaluation. You could never be in the public. You could never be in the arts. You could never do that sort of thing. So, of course, my life was destined to be a lawyer, because then you just hide behind, you know, the book.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the classes I wanted at UC Berkeley. So because I love this teacher, and I quit. And a friend of mine said, come and take an acting class from me. I said, there's no way I could ever stand in front of people. Thank you very much. He goes, no, come on, because we'll go to lunch every day. And then after lunch, you know, at this student cafeteria where they're all learning to become marvelous chefs, then we'll go to class. And don't worry, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Well, that deception, you know, food, okay.
Exactly. Food.
I thought for sure I never had to do anything. But sure enough, that first monologue, everyone does their monologue. Of course, you memorize it. And he goes, Charles, you're up. And I did my monologue, shaking like a leaf. And people went, wow, how is it that you were the only person who wasn't nervous? And I went, whoop. And that was, you know, from there, I started doing it. And then I gained confidence. And I went to the audition for the school play. It was a great play. I wanted to be Oberon in Midsummer Night's Dream. I thought I was perfect for it. We watched everybody. And I completely failed. I thought for sure I had it. And I called Les, I think I got it. I was really good. And it was like, I think I was the best one there. And I really, for sure. Don't catch your chickens before they hatch. And sure enough, I got nothing in that. And that failure is why I became an actor to begin with. And then, you know, I did 75 plays. I went to school in London because, as you say, Kenny, you know, as you learn the skill of acting, it is all the same. It's just, you know, it's training teaches you the size and the dynamic that a film actor only has to feel something or listen to something and take away themselves and respond. Whereas, you know, a theater actor has to project, an opera singer has to project.
It's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bigger. And then, of course, you know, when you're voice acting, it's all theater of the imagination. You know, it's movement of air is all you're doing. Is you're moving the air with energy and passion and joy.
You just nailed a very important point, probably without even realizing you said it, and it's listening. Acting is listening.
Yeah.
If you are not listening, if you're not in the moment, you're not going to come across as genuine, because all of a sudden you go, oh, it's my line. But
my turn. Yeah.
If you're in the moment, then your next line comes in as just as if you are the character. Acting is so much fun.
And you build that skill set, and then once you have the skill set, you throw it all away. You go in and you're the dog chasing the ball on the beach. You just go in there. You don't, or the Bowser chasing the Princess Peach.
Yes.
Like this one here.
Oh, so cute.
Kenny knows what this one is. Hi, Kenny.
I remember that. I don't remember which show it was.
We were in Reno, and somebody said,
You used to throw that at him, didn't you?
Yeah, he threw it at me. Well, then we had this thing where who was going to kidnap the princess, and I rescued her from him.
That's right.
Life imitates art.
It was some fans came up and they were like, okay, we want you to have and then he's going to steal it from you, and I'll be damned if Charles didn't come up through the pipe and drape behind my table. He goes all like, woohoo! And takes off. Like,
I did.
What just happened?
I'm glad they put that green piping in there, because that helped me get right up there to where you were without being seen.
Yes.
Yeah, Reno.
That's
so
amazing.
nice.
Not for nothing, Charles, but you are 9 feet tall, so it's kind of hide you.
I am. Yes, I'm tall. Life is short, but I'm not. I'm very tall.
How are you?
Life is short,
tall?
so am I. And Arlen, thank you so much. That was a great question to start us off with. And what do we have next? From Quart, what is your favorite character to do the voice for? And, I'll expand this out. This can be outside of the Nintendo-verse if you have another character you do.
There's an outside of Nintendo-verse?
Whoa! Whoa! Mind blown.
I don't know, right?
Oh, I really have to see into this.
Okay, who wants to go first?
Well, I mean, I can go. I mean, it's pretty brief for me. I mean, it is still inside the Nintendo-verse, even though I have some Funimation stuff that I'm pretty jazzed about. Nothing huge yet, but it's happening. It's happening. Sorry. I really still, anytime this kind of question comes up, I gravitate towards Meowser. And it was funny earlier because Sam said, she said, Cat Peach.
Cat Peach.
And I was all like, oh yeah, you didn't have a cutesy name like I did. They actually had it on the script.
That's right.
Meowser. But yeah, Meowser was such a challenge. And to actually pull it off and to get it approved, it was insane. I spent a lot of blood on doing Meowser. After that initial recording session for Meowser, and I mean, what they did was they said, it's Meowser, and I said, what does that mean? And they said, well, it's a power up. Peach and Mario and Bowser, if they get this power up, they turn into a cat version of themselves and slash around, and they have a tail and blah blah blah.
And it's so cute because I love
for
cats
Bowser. I mean, that's pretty violent because he's huge. And I said, "What do you want him to sound like?"
Nintendo pulled it off.
And they went, "We don't know." So I literally looked through the glass and went, "Give me a minute." And so I was like, he can't go meow, not Bowser. So Wildcat and Bowser, and you roll it together and you get meow.
That's really cool.
I did that for 2 or 3 hours for various things during Meowser's roll, and I could taste blood when I was done. So I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him.
It's a beautiful character.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game. What a fun game. 3D world. Oh my goodness.
They just ported it through to the Switch. And
yeah.
So nice. It's all like, yay, we could play that on the Switch. I'm like,
isn't that great?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Anyway, that was enough time for me. Next.
I like Peach. I love to voice Peach because she's closer to my natural voice. A lot of times when we're doing Peach and Toad and we'll have the same sessions that are booked, we always record Peach first and Baby Peach if that's a character, just because they're so high and light. And then Toad I love Toad. I like the contrast, because there's a Toad that is so wild it just trashes the voice a lot. Like not as bad. I don't give blood, but definitely, now I feel like I'm inadequate. I should put more into it if I'm going to be like Kenny. But I love them both. I love the contrast, and they do a lot of times have a lot of lemons and honey and stuff in studio just to keep everything going. Sure. But it's really fun. It's fun to do a light voice that's very similar to my own, and then to do. And just go crazy with Toad, and it's very free, so I can't choose. I love them both. I really do.
Sometimes the most wildest voices are the funnest ones. So
I'm sorry.
I love it.
I can
it's fun to see you
at a panel, and what do I always say? It's like
I know.
I know there's funniest,
noise.
but I don't think there's funnest.
I love them all. I'm just so blessed and so fortunate and so grateful every day. I mean, I love Luigi's sort of timidness and Wario's anger and Waluigi's,
each character has their own personality.
But of course, for me, Mario is like the voice of the human I want to be, full of love and joy, and just an ordinary guy that falls in love with a princess and spends his life rescuing her. That's it's the perfect thing. And I aspire to be more like that, because the character never says no. The character is not negative. The character's even anger is like
out loud in his head. He's probably like, again, I have to come to the princess
fun
again.
And a joy, and I want people when they hear it to smile and to feel joy, and when they hear the music, because I do that. I hear the music and
being
I'm
a part of this.
I can't wait.
Amazing.
So I want that same thing when someone hears the voice. So that to me is the perfect job of all time.
Quart, thank you so much. That was a great one for us.
Yeah, Quart, that was a great one.
What do we have next? From Zach. If you could voice any other game character, who would it be? And I'll expand this out. Not necessarily game character. If you could voice any other character, in animation or anything else, who would it be?
Bowser.
Oh, really?
We're after you, Bowser. Definitely Bowser. We're coming for you.
Yes, yeah.
He's coming for you.
Princess Peach is the new Bowser.
Suddenly, I feel doomed.
She can kidnap Mario or Daisy or Luigi or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Scary.
There are so many, and there are so many other cartoon/game voice actors that I have so much respect for that I can't even. I don't think I can pick something.
Yeah.
There are so many voices that I love the sound of. I mean, the last actual convention I was at, I was lucky enough to finally hang out with Jim Cummings, and
I love him. I love him so much.
And because of my childhood, Pooh and Tigger.
Yes.
And I mean, he has done the best job at continuing Pooh and Tigger from the original voice actors. Yep. He is so close, and he is Pooh and Tigger. And so I don't. Maybe if I had the chops for it, maybe Tigger. But I just don't have that vocal tone that Jim does. It's not me.
Yeah.
But I love Pooh and Tigger, so that's the first thing that actually wound up popping into my head.
Childhood memories.
The whole Pooh universe. I mean, even if it was just Eeyore, maybe I could practice Eeyore.
Oh, well.
I know.
Here's my favorite. I had a baby donkey toy from the time I was in the crib. I think I just always had my little Eeyore. My mom still has him. I go visit every once in a while.
That's cute.
We just had Jim here 2 weeks ago for a Darkwing Duck reunion.
Jim.
He's such a great
sounds
guy.
different. Like that's what I love about him is he can just create a character and you would not know unless you looked at the credits that it was him. And I admire that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was so.
It's a great thing that you hit on, Kenny, too. Is that acting is being. It's like you become that character. Yeah. And of course you need the right tool because your voice range has to be in that sort of thing. So your figure would be different. But the essence of the character has to be inside of you. And I think that's an amazing part of acting is you get to be other people, or be different iterations of yourself. I just read Dick Van Dyke's autobiography, and it's like, because I'm the luckiest person in the world, I just played myself everywhere. And it's like, that's fantastic. Whatever it is that you find that you do, that's your magic. And isn't that the thing? And you go to an audition, you think, oh my God, what do they want? What do they want? Wrong question, you'll never get the job. What do I want to do with this? Oh boy, what do I want to do with this? Right question. And when you do that, when you're doing what you want to do, your passion, your joy, you got it. You no guarantees, but you're going to have fun at least.
I love all their advice.
No guarantees,
so
that's
nice.
for sure.
Yeah,
they have great advice.
I mean, I think that's a huge key right there. Like you just got to be in the moment. That's part of acting. It's one of the main parts of acting is being in the moment. You have the moment before, then you have to be in the moment. Yeah. So,
and being risky, like taking a risk, like what happens if you are foolish? Can you just put your whole self and be crazy? Just let it flow. And if you can do that, I think there's something like Charles, you do that, and it's so beautiful. It delights when people see that. It delights them, and that's just a fun way to live too. There's more fun in doing it that way too.
Yes, you get paid to play.
Yeah, that goes back to acting again. It's making a choice. Sometimes that choice is wrong, but only wrong to the person who's casting.
Just because they're not going to cast you. But it eventually comes. I think what Charles is saying is true, though, too. It eventually comes where if you just do what you're doing, you commit to it. And you just did that by moving to Texas, too, Kenny. You just decided, I'm going to do something. I'm going to put it on the line. And then you just see what happens with that. And I love the all in.
And I got into Funimation just like I wanted to, and doing sessions every week.
Because what are they going to say? I mean, there's this big monster outside the door going, and they're like, okay, come in. We'll give you a job. Of course.
I'm a contractor just like the rest of the voice actors.
Congratulations, though. That's really spectacular. That's really great.
So, Charles, if you had your druthers, if the books were open for any character in animation or video game, who do you think you'd like to take a crack at?
I'm happy. I really am. I am just so happy. You know what I'd love to do? I would love to somehow have somebody say, I like the way you look. We want you to be in a motion picture. Because I used to do those many years ago before I started doing voiceover. And that was really fun to be on set. And, because the thing about being a voice actor is in the old days, you did a cartoon. Everybody's in the room. You're all playing together. Now, I don't know for Kenny now what you're doing, but we work independently. It's all, you're alone, and it's fun to be on a TV set and a movie set because you get to talk to the teamsters, you get to talk to the directors and the associates and blah 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 blah, costume people. It's just that sort of networking, joyful, and it's not networking. What is it? It's human contact. That's what it is. It's what we're all missing so much right now. So I'll take any role in a film, or a TV show just to come in and,
I would jump all over that because, even doing the anime dubs, it's all ADR. So you're in the booth. And now, even when I go to the studio, I'm in the booth, but there's no director and no engineer because they're somewhere else. And it's very bizarre, but it's still the same because if you don't turn and look through the glass, then you don't know any different. I still have a script, I still have the video. So, but it was a lot of fun to walk into the studio and be all like, oh, hey, here's Mike. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Now you put on the headphones, you go, is anybody there?
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, we're here. I'm like, oh, good.
Remember the days before home studios, your agent calls you up and goes, hey, we got a reading for you to do. And you go, okay, yippee. And you go down and you have a booth probably the same size as what you have there. So you had 9 people in there. 4 by 4, that's about right. 9 people in there, 1 microphone, the director's sitting there, and you had to like duck in and out of the microphone. But everybody read the script and had so much fun. The interaction, the game, the laughter that just bubbled up, and they're gone. Now to me it's like under the covers, and I to my production company and send out a sound file.
Yeah. Crazy. Thank you. Great question. And a reminder to our audience, if you'd like to chat with our panelists like I am now or purchase an autograph, please head over to GalaxyCon.com. And I think we have time for a few more, so let's roll another.
Oh, I hope so. This has been great questions, everybody.
Very much so. And here's one from Nick.
Lovely.
What's your favorite quote from the characters that you voice?
Did I win?
I have one. It popped right into my head.
Yep, totally.
I did one of the earlier characters that I did for anime in a show called Cautious Hero, and then the subtitle on that is "The hero is overpowered but overly cautious." And I was the shopkeeper, and he was selling greater medicinal herbs. And I was all like, really? He's got this handful of this stuff in a paper wrapper thing. It looks like just lettuce or whatever. But he's all like, it's three times more powerful than the regular kind. And I was like, that's one of my favorite quotes. It's like, greater medicinal herbs, 3 times more powerful than the regular kind.
Far out, man.
And then I wound up having a healing battle with this goddess who she said she could heal faster than my greater medicinal herbs, and my character won. So that's fun.
All right, right on that. Cool. Samantha, how about you?
Oh, I like ones that when we're in studio and we have a script, but then we get a chance to just do whatever we want to do. And when they decide to choose one of those, I really like that. So for Peach, I like the because she's so innocent but she's so in your face, but she's totally innocent and sweet about it. She goes, "Did I win?" And that line, I love that line. And I'm sorry, it's early in the morning, so I'm not warmed up, but it's that's my favorite because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is. It's.
I love it. I love it when you say, "Oh."
A lot of people say that I'm like that too. I'm so sarcastic, but I'm nice about it.
I love that.
It's so funny because our daughter is 8 and
only
she
when I want
says
to be,
that
though.
kind of thing. She'll go, "Oh, daddy," like that. And it's just, I love the sweetness. I'm sorry, Charles. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's so sweet. For me, it's everything I get to say. But here we go. I love the joy and the enthusiasm. Let's go on the adventure. It's just in Galaxy, when he's flying through the air. That's how I dream. So I love that, but also just in human things, it's you number one because
I know, so
it
sweet.
expresses that joy and love. So I get most of those.
Exactly.
Fair, absolutely fair. So Nick, thank you. That was a fun one.
Thanks, Nick.
And from Daniel, what existing movie would you like to see your Mario characters be a part of?
What existing movie?
Yeah, so if you could see the Mario Brothers be a part of the Marvel franchise or Star Wars.
That's cool. That'd be cool.
Godzilla.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense for Bowser, okay?
I could be Godzilla's sidekick. Or I could kick Godzilla and become,
the new King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bowser finally has something to take over.
No, Godzilla works.
It only fits. Giant turtle lizard to the other dinosaur-looking lizard. We could be unstoppable.
Yes. I would love to see that, actually.
True,
Somebody please make a movie
can't
out of
argue that. So, who's got another one?
Wreck-It Ralph. I love Penelope so much. Oh my gosh. It would be so fun. Plus, I'm totally into food and candy, so I feel like yes.
Honestly, she makes me really hungry.
Drive your car and then eat it.
Yes.
Oh, that's so great. I
actually want an edible
That's
car
such
now.
a great question, and it completely stumps me. I mean, I'm so happy because when I walk in the studio, I have no idea what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden the world opens up. So that is just such a thrill to me. I never think of Mario being in anything else except Mario, you know. Yeah. But I suppose, you know, I like the idea of a Western. I love that, you know, when he's got the hat on and the Western. Or a racing film would be a good film, a racing film. But I can't imagine him in any other franchise unless they say, come and be in another franchise. And I'll go, yippee!
A Western setting, I think, would be fun. Yeah. There's no sewers. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right?
Daniel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And here's one from Gus.
Oh my gosh.
Peach and Mario had a kid. What would you name him or her?
Oh.
Well, if it was a boy, if a boy, it'd probably be a Super Baby Mario, and if it was a girl, it'd probably be Super Baby Princess.
Yeah, or Baby Peach. They always let us know. It's so funny. We're always pleasantly surprised when we come into the studio and they've shown us like, oh, this is what we're thinking, and it's kind of like it unfolds for us just like when you play the game for the first
just
time.
Baby Mario and Baby Peach, I guess.
We just go with it, whatever plot they have, and that's the fun part. Did you go to the bathroom, Kenny? Oh, sorry.
I apologize. I had a package that I needed to sign for, and it wrong time.
No, sure. Well, the question on the table was, if Peach and Mario had a baby, what would it be named?
Kenny doesn't like that.
Oh man, no, I have no Bowser. Name him Bowser.
No,
no. Second.
That's such an awkward question.
How about are there any questions from any young ladies out there?
I'm not sure, but we have time for at least one or two more. So let's roll another one. Hey, Gus, I'll thank you for that one.
No, it should be Mark and Peter.
Okay,
inspired by the Kendor.
Do you ever think in your character voices?
Those fan-made children.
That is.
I think in my character's voice. I talk in my character's voice. And I dream in my character voice. My favorite thing is, you know, that, the galaxy where he's flying and here we go, woohoo! I dream like that, flying over particularly lakes and, you know, through the forest and making that arcing curve with the little starlights. Yes. And I talk like it too. I think I've mentioned this before, Patty, that in the morning, if I'm dropping coffee on the floor, I like,
that's funny.
So the characters are always alive in me.
I don't think I love the voice when you have the voice or you express the voice, but sometimes if I play and then I get on the road and my brain just doesn't remember, oh, you're not racing Mario Kart right now. You can't drive like that. And I've had times where I'm on the road and I forget, like the transition.
Yeah, because you're so used to being that character, then you actually just start to lose
me, it's like
track of the real world. I heard that about actors and voice
especially
actors.
Like in public, because people would be like, "What's the matter?"
You'd be arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll think it. I'll be all like. Something funny happens, I'm like, I can think, but I try not to do it out loud.
What does he say? What does Bowser say when he's like really happy?
He goes like,
That's so great.
When it's sad or angry, it goes down.
Oh yeah.
And it goes up.
Sarah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think we have time for one more, so let's see if we can squeeze that in. And this can come from Mada. What advice do you have for people who want to be in the acting field? This is a good one to close on.
Read things out loud. Anything that you can read out loud and do it in a way as if you were trying to talk to a person. A lot of people, when they read, they're reading the words. And if you listen, you can hear that it sounds like they're reading. If you really want to be an amazing actor, you read it, but you sell it. You read it as if you were just talking to the person and you're saying it to them. And if you can get that skill, you eventually, you know, if you do classes and the things you need to do to kind of get in line for auditions, when you do an audition, you will knock their socks off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times I agree with that.
And if I read out loud, I try to like read it in a character's voice that I imagine the character
and being able to sound like you're not reading out loud, because most auditions, at least
and a lot of people have been actually impressed. They've been actually said that I should be a voice actor.
They're going to be cold
like,
reads.
Oh, sure.
So you may have never seen this script. You may have never even seen the show. And they're going to hand you a side, which is a piece of the script. And they're going to say, okay, so you and you and you're these three characters. Go. And you don't have it memorized. You're going to read it. And you don't want to read it like, oh, Bob, I wonder what you were doing.
Oh, you're
gonna want to go, oh, hey, Bob. Yeah, I wondered what you were doing.
And like a neutral robotic voice, like
let
unless
it flow.
Your characters are robot.
And practicing reading is really important because
that's why I've been reading since
I was 4. You have to be able to
4.
read ahead.
I love reading so much.
And I know that sounds weird, but your eyes have to actually scan ahead.
Yeah.
So that you know what's coming.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And it's a weird thing, but that's why we practice the craft. Yeah. And so, yeah, I agree with Sam.
Great advice.
And once again, though, volunteer for community theater. They need you. You know, community theaters, they don't have a lot of money. Some of them are like C3 charities. The one that I used to act in all the time was had a charity status. They were a nonprofit, but it was a beautiful theater, and I loved it so much, and I miss all those people so much. So I hope some of them are watching this because I miss you guys so much.
Aww.
Aww.
That's what
Charles.
I just said.
Okay. Work. You know, what acting is all about to me is you study people, you study cartoons. So watch lots of cartoons. Whatever you want to do. If you want to be an announcer, read the ads. Read ads and read them as though, you know, like right out of the magazine, you know, the Buick Sentra car ads, and read them to people. Take acting classes. Do community theater. If you're near college age, go to college. There are acting schools in Great Britain. There are acting schools in America. Study. So that once you've learned acting, singing, voice, acting, movement, dialogue, script interpretation, how to build a character, because every character has a character arc. You're not the same person at the beginning as you are at the end. Even the ad copy, you're not the same person. You've become something. You've discovered something. You've unfolded something that takes you to a different place. And when you learn to make that organic and that becomes a part of you, the ability to look at a script and dissect it because you worked so hard, that's when you can let it all go and just be the dog chasing the stick or the ball on the beach. And that's all you want to do is be in that moment as listening. You listen and you respond. You respond as though it's the first time those words have ever been said before. But if you know everybody's lines, if you know your lines, everybody, if you know that whole play or that whole scene like the back of your hands, then you can let it go. And then you can listen, then you can respond, and then it can be organic. And you know that you can also study the English school of the Chekhov school, the sort of the acting is being and method acting and presentational acting. Study it all and find out what rings to you, what gives you joy and you passion, and learn how to get rid of this. And this is a life lesson, not an acting lesson, but it works there too. Stop that negative voice inside your head. Stop the piece of you that is critical and negative.
My mom says that too. I try, but it's so difficult. My depression.
Nobody else would be allowed to talk to you and stop trying to please that person, because the minute you
I try my best,
are trying to please somebody, or trying to sound like what they wanted to hear, you're not being the character. You've separated from it. And
the thing is,
coming back to
that's the thing. But yeah,
Stop being that negative voice. Let go. Be bold. Be free. Have fun. Find what it is that gives you joy. You deserve the love, the joy, the happiness, and go for it. You know, there's nothing lost in venturing forward.
Oh my goodness, we do not deserve these
and
people.
When you do that,
like, oh my gosh,
when you set yourself in motion and commit to yourself to be your own best friend, to love yourself, to love your family and friends, to take your life lessons and let go of the things that don't help you and pick up the next thing that will help you, then you're more and more in control. It may not feel like it, it may not look like it, but you're setting yourself up to that place that we're talking about earlier, where you are ready for the break. As Jack Nicholson said, it took me 20 years to make it overnight, you know, and it's what it is.
I say that all the time. It's like, this is my 20-year overnight success story.
Yeah. And that's like, just one more time, just one more thing. Go for it and have fun and do it. You know, you may not end up to be an actor, but you'll meet a director who goes, you know, well, what do you think about this? And you go, well, that directing is kind of fun. Or somebody might say, hey, one of your friends that you meet in acting school or in college, let's cast this thing. And you might go, okay, let's read actors. And then you read actors and you go, well, this is a lot more fun than acting. I get to watch people, you know, you'll find something because you're looking for your happiness. You're looking for your joy, for what makes your wings spread, so that you can fly. And that's what life is about.
I got one more thing to tag on to that.
Sure.
And Charles hit on it. And without even probably realizing that he said it, there are a lot of serious things about acting. But when it comes down to it, think about what people say. You go, it's a play. You're playing a character. You have to have a certain amount of play in there. It's playing. It's supposed to be fun. If it's so over the top and so stressful to you that you just can't take it, then do a different character, or maybe just consider doing something else. But you got to play. It's playing.
Yeah. When I was in the theater, I did 75 plays in 10 years, and it was totally fun. But my dear friend Sidney Walker, you know, when I would be anxiety and angst-ridden, you know, young 24-year-old, I need to do this, I need to do this, he'd say, dear, it's not brain surgery, it's theater. Well, there it is. That's what it is. It's theater. It's joy. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
so good. And by the way, good luck. Good luck, and go for it and have fun.
Yes, Mada.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mada, go out there and break a leg. And whatever path it is. And from my perspective as an actor, voice actor, I always say, just follow that North Star. And the best advice I like to give for auditions is, you're not auditioning for the part, you're auditioning to be well received and invited to come back and audition again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
I
was thinking like that. Think about, like, you know, the part, you're just getting them to know you, because you never know when they know you to the point where they're like, oh, wait, who's that gal that did that crazy voice for that other thing? Let's bring her in for this.
That's a good point. You're getting yourself ready for that moment when the right thing happens. You're preparing yourself. Yeah, it really is. And then it happens overnight.
100% true. You never know. You could completely bomb an audition, but that same director or casting director later on would be all like, oh, do you remember that guy or girl? I think they would be good for this. And they'd bring you in, and you might be perfect for it. So a bombed audition does not mean failure.
No, you learn more from I learned more by failing to get overrun than I did from anything else. And it lights the fire. And that's the thing, too, is audition for everything. Work for everything. Do everything you can until you can start saying,
to the best of your ability.
That doesn't match the sort of person that I'm like. Like, I won't take parts of with obscenities in it. I won't do that. My agents know that. They know I don't do things that because I am in love with the image and in love with the character. I don't want to do anything but be family friendly, you know. And you'll come to that place too, where you decide what it is in your career that you want. And I hope that comes for you very soon. And with lots of fun between here and there.
Absolutely.
Fun is key.
For this,
GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with the voices of the Mario universe, but it does not have to be yours. If you'd like to chat with our guests or purchase an autograph, please head over to GalaxyCon.com. While you're there, be sure to check out our schedule of upcoming events like this one. Panelists, any final words for our audience before we go?
Love you.
Love you too.
Be sure and vote.
Yes. Oh, yes. Please be sure and vote. You know, it's the most important thing is to exercise our civil rights and to keep our country going together. You know, vote your heart, vote your compassion, but go out there and vote. You can vote early. That's what I recommend. I also voted, got my thing. I put in my ballot, and then you know, you may not feel like I'm gonna, but do it. Do it because it's a great commitment to the freedom and to the democracy that we have in America.
Well said. Well said.
And have fun. My last word would be have fun, have fun, have fun. You know, this is my recommendation, even though I'm failing to do this completely myself. Since you got to be home a lot, you know, find a project and do it. Like for me, it's like I read books and I just like, okay, I'm just going to read all day. Which, you know, that's nice, but I really should be writing too. And I really should be doing my schoolwork, but I'm not. Crossword puzzles and realize, I think I just did 30 crossword puzzles.
I keep procrastinating.
But if you can put aside, I've been talking to my sweetheart about this. I'm going to try to put 4 hours aside every day. And I'll do like 30 minutes of exercise, 30 minutes of reading, 30 minutes of crossword puzzles and other games, and then an hour and a half of writing or 30 minutes of writing or something. But fill in those times, having a sense of somewhat discipline. Which I fail completely to do. So if you can do that, congratulations.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Gentlemen and lady, it is, as always, it's been my pleasure to serve you all here today. Thank you for joining us here at the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. Thank you for all those great questions.
You're welcome.
We'll see you all again later today as we begin our Halloween-themed events, starting with Candyman's Tony Todd and Friday the 13th Kane Hodder. And next week, GalaxyCon Live is a Halloween harvest of programming featuring cast reunions of Monster Squad, Nightmare Before Christmas, Hocus Pocus, the original Willy Wonka kids, and Halloween Town, and a lot more. Until then, bye-bye, everyone. Take care, and please keep washing those hands.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, if you guys want to see any of the